That's fine.
All right, go for it.
SmackDown opened with Usos versus Gold and Stardust in a cage match for some reason. I don't know why. It's actually a very fun TV tag match. They didn't do much with the cage, really. And Uso A hit Goldust with a superplex. Uso B followed with a top rope splash. And then Stardust came zooming in out of nowhere with a roll-up on the guy who hit the splash. And he hits a roll-up for the win to retain the titles.
You know, I was really upset when this match started because SmackDown is never the most exciting show in the world. And the idea that they started with a cage match and then we're going to do the rest of the show, I began to lose faith in wrestling nowadays because it was like, what is SmackDown going to do to follow up a cage match opener, especially one that's actually pretty good? But they ended up making the main event a cage match as well. So at the end of the day, I guess I kind of understood how they did this. Or why they did this. And my only other comment is that I have concluded that Tom Phillips is a listener because he made sure to point out as they were going to commercial that Gold and Stardust were taking control inside a steel cage.
I actually took a bunch of notes here.
Oh, really?
Well, why not, right?
Earning his money.
I learned this week through John Pollock's podcast how to tell the Usos apart. Apparently, there's a little rhyme in regards to their face paint. Basically, Jay Leno left the Tonight Show, and Jimmy Fallon moved right in. So Jay has face paint on the left, and Jimmy
a mnemonic device.
Yeah, and Jimmy has face paint on the right.
Now, are we sure that has John Pollock? First off, I know he's got too much spare time. Now I just need to figure out how much spare time he's got. Has he charted this over a number of weeks? Is it possible that the Usos are going to next week switch the sides of their face paint?
I'm pretty sure Jimmy's fatter as well.
Oh, well, that's easier. Why don't you say that?
Sorry, I just thought this was cuter.
The fat one would eat at Jimmy Jack's. How about that?
Yeah, he also tried to whisper in the wind at one point and then just kind of fell. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I'm pretty sure that was Jimmy, and it was very interesting.
What is Jimmy Jack's?
The sponsor of Brock.
Jimmy John's.
Oh, Jimmy John's. I'm sorry. Same thing.
Is that a sub place?
Yes,
like sandwiches.
Delicious.
Is that what it is? I've never eaten there before.
Yeah, we don't have that in Canada, but they have a really cool logo, so I'd like to go. But
I just figured a lot of sausages were consumed there.
Makes sense
Canada?
to me.
Well, no, at Jimmy John's.
I see.
Go on.
They also had in this match, they made mention at the very beginning that the legal man could escape the cage to win. So it wasn't that both men had to escape. It was that only the legal man had to, which is the first time I can remember hearing that.
Didn't they do something like that back in the day? You're too young, Mike, to remember this. But I do remember that they had that at one point. Like if one guy escaped, his partner was stuck in there with two men. Do you remember this, Vinny?
This has happened all the time.
Yeah, they've had that a few times.
It was a long time ago, though. I haven't heard that in years.
Yeah. By the way, there is a Jimmy Jack's in Everett.
See, I knew it.
Yeah.
All right.
Breakfast is excellent, Yelp says.
Oh, wow.
Hash browns are crispy and coffee refills are frequent.
As opposed to most restaurants where they just don't show up.
I guess.
All right, go on.
Oh, sorry, I thought...
That would be you.
I was waiting for Mike.
It's all you.
They recap Raw, and then Kane cut a promo in the ring. He booked himself versus Dolph in a cage match for tonight. Then he said he was going to introduce a potential recruit for Team Authority. Cesaro came out, which was a surprise to Kane. Cesaro promised to throw Cena around like a rag doll. Kane said, "You're not the man I expected to see, but you could impress the Authority by winning a match against this man." And it was Ryback. Remember you said on Raw how it took one show to screw him up?
Oh, yeah.
This match started during the break. When they came back, Ryback was in a chinlock.
Oh, yeah.
So they went back and forth for a while. They actually had a really, really cool finish. These men are both strong. So Ryback's holding him up in a suplex. And Cesaro's throwing knee strikes to the head while upside down in the suplex. And Ryback just eats 3 or 4 of them and turns it right into a shell shock for the win.
Oh, yeah.
That was really cool. And then Kane gave Ryback a standing ovation. And he offered Ryback a handshake, but Ryback either didn't see him or just ignored him and left.
When they first announced... Actually, first Kane comes out and he makes this dramatic announcement about how the main event is going... It's like Lockdown. The main event is also going to be inside a steel cage. And so he makes this big dramatic announcement. He's looking all scary. And then all of a sudden he gets very calm and he goes, "Moving on." he proceeded to call out Cesaro. And he called out somebody. And so Cesaro comes out. And Kane says, well, you weren't the one I was expecting. And I thought, when you say that to a guy who comes out, that makes the guy a geek unless he wins. And then, of course, Cesaro goes on to not win. So, in fact, he is a geek. An unlikely guy to accept the challenge, who, in fact, could not accept the challenge because he was a failure. So that sucked. And other than that, not much to say. Cesaro did a good job with the guy. Kane was impressed with Ryback. He stood and clapped, and that was that.
Yeah, I noticed that chinlock bit too when they came back from commercial. And my note on that was that it's not so much that he gets put in the chinlock; it's that while he's in the chinlock, he's just heavy breathing, and it's like the chinlock's actually having an effect on him. I think if he just didn't show so much pain and he was just constantly fighting out of it, it wouldn't be such a problem. But because he shouldn't be selling,
He's selling too much lately.
Exactly.
Especially to what's his face on Raw. Titus O'Neil, yeah.
Yeah. But I have no problem with him selling to Cesaro because I love Cesaro, but he's clearly in trouble. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of people in trouble, Adam Rose.
Yeah.
Wrestled Truth.
I like him.
Rose tried to steal Truth "What's Up" line, and everyone booed. Match was pretty much all comedy. And the bunny jumped up on the apron. He did a little wacky dance. And Adam Rose approached the bunny to attempt to talk him into getting down, and Truth rolled him up and pinned him. And Rose was enraged. He pushed the bunny down afterwards. The Rosebuds were shocked, but then Rose got them all partying again. And the bunny tried to follow, but Rose seemed to let him know he was not invited, and then I guess he sort of slowly relented.
When Truth came out and he did his "What's Up," and then they had Adam Rose do it, it was like, okay, clearly Adam Rose is about to turn heel. Because when he does the "What's Up," everybody's going to boo him, which in fact happened. So the bunny distracts him. I knew from day one that eventually Adam Rose was going to turn on the bunny. It was just inevitable. And it happened here. And when I was thinking about it, it was like, well, once Adam Rose turns heel, he's dead. How can you have, like, the Exotic Express with Adam Rose as a heel? However, after he decked the bunny, and then he did the gimmick where he's a complete dick, and he's bullying a man in a rabbit costume and shunning him, and then he turns around and he does a fake smile, and he makes all of his minions dance to the back again, I thought this man is going to be way better as a heel than he was as a babyface. He's still doomed, but I did like his post-match dickishness.
What is it that Kevin Dunn hates about him again? Is it his accent?
He doesn't like the accent. Yes.
I guess he's unable to do just a standard, I guess, American accent.
Apparently not.
No, but he's definitely 100% Aldous Snow from Get Him to the Greek. But I think why give him a character with an accent if he hates accents so much, I guess. But
it's his real accent.
Well, he's South African, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's but I think he's going more with a British accent.
I don't know. I think that's how he really talks.
Maybe as a Canadian, I pick up on accents more. I don't know.
Could be. I picked up on yours immediately the moment you got on the call.
How dare you? That's other than that, though, I like Adam Rose with the beard, and it didn't seem like a full heel turn at the moment, like Dave kind of made it seem. But I guess we'll kind of see where it goes.
The beginning, yes.
All right.
Speaking of Canadians, Christian came out for the Peep Show. Probably still upset about getting picked last at this Ministry of Darkness game.
It's true.
He plugged Haven. Talked about Survivor Series for a while. Dean Ambrose finally interrupted. They were jibber-jabbering.
Interrupted? He was his guest.
Well, yeah, but he did come out on his own. So, they jibber-jabbered. Bray interrupted. Bray was talking about healing people. He said, I had tried to heal Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan's name got no reaction.
And he did a shitty job healing him.
That's also true. He's clearly not healed. He said Bryan had not been seen in months. Began to talk about Ambrose's father, asking if he still sent Dean postcards from prison. Dean went after him, and the lights went out. When they came back, Bray Wyatt was standing behind Dean Ambrose, resting his chin on Dean's shoulder. He screamed, "Run!" Then the lights went out again, and they came back, he was gone. I thought this was at least as goofy as the ghost at Hell in the Cell.
So you're telling me that Dean Ambrose didn't notice a man's head was on his shoulder until the lights came back on?
With a scraggly beard.
I hate the storylines where, has your father sent you letters from prison? It's just like nobody buys this, nobody believes it. It comes off as bullshit. It did not make me care one iota about this feud. In fact, it detracted from the feud, this stupid storyline. I hate stuff like this. It's so stupid and pointless. But hey, you got to write something.
Well, I think it's good to kind of add a little bit of backstory to Dean Ambrose, because really, what do we know about him, like on the show?
I know he runs in the desert a lot.
Well, who doesn't? But
you're in Canada.
And we're in Seattle, so
I can go over the mountains and run in the desert.
You don't know. We got lots of deserts around here. It's a lot of fun.
it's a lot of fun.
You sound like Michael Cole, who said he loved Xavier Woods' new song.
That was here. He had the Xavier Woods hype video. And then they went to the announce desk, and there's two ways Michael Cole can kill anything. One is by pretending that it's cool, and the other is to express that it's not cool. Either way, it's dead.
Yeah.
Because he when, we've said it many times, when he starts dancing or saying something is a lot of fun, it comes off as totally lame. And here they do the Xavier Woods video, and his theme is It's a New Day, and they go to the announce desk, and Cole just shrugs and says, it's a new day.
Yep. It's funny. Last night we were talking about the Bisping Rockhold fight that took place on Friday night on Fight Pass, and Luke Rockhold looked awesome. And they have an FS1 show the next day, which is boring as all hell. A fight gets scratched from the show, and Dave did this big long rant about, could they not have shown Rockhold versus Bisping on this FS1 show so that the million or so people that watched would actually know who got a big win on the show the previous night, which only aired on Fight Pass? Talked about this for like 15 minutes. So here I am watching Smackdown, and what do? They show a replay of Rusev winning the United States title from Sheamus. They show most of the match. Exactly as Dave had suggested. WWE figured out, not UFC. That's rare. But the point of all of this is, I don't know if I've mentioned this on this show, I love Lana. I love this woman. Like, I don't even look at her lustfully. I mean, I could, but I don't. She's so sweet and lovable. When Rusev won the title, you've never seen anybody so happy that her man had won the championship. She jumped up and down, and she clapped her hands, and she smiled, and she soaked in the adulation. I wanted to hug her and congratulate her. And Rusev was happy as well. This was the most they've done for the U.S. title since probably 1983.
I thought it was great. I didn't watch Raw at all, but I tuned in to the network afterwards because I wanted to see that match, because I figured he was going to win. And it's cool that the U.S. title is actually important, and you got to believe they're going to push it hard now that it's on Rusev. So it was cool to see it on SmackDown too. I don't know, even though I just watched it.
I just like their promo afterwards. They vowed to take the title back to Putin.
Yeah.
I want that skit.
Did you see the Photoshop that Sammy made of Rusev and Lana meeting with Putin's hologram?
I don't think I did.
It was so awesome. This is my greatest idea that I've had since... What was my last great idea? The Secret Plan? This one is way up there, I have to say. Fortunately, they'll never do it.
Renee interviewed AJ. AJ said Nikki was the one responsible for everything Bree did. Bree showed up, tried to apologize, but AJ said, no, don't worry about it. I know it's not your fault. And then Nikki appeared and laid AJ out with the softest, most gentle, most tender sneak attack you ever saw. AJ sold it like she had been shot directly in the brain, just collapsed, dead, not moving. And Nikki told Bree his apology had not been very sincere, and they left.
I thought Nikki was an awesome bully here. Her fake Letterman's jacket, her bullying nature, her backwards baseball cap. Big fan.
Her teeny tiny bottoms.
Well, that goes without saying.
Am I the only one who finds Bree more attractive than Nikki?
Well, Daniel Bryan.
Well, I guess so. But I think Nikki's kind of got this potato face. I don't know if that sounds mean, but she's got the...
No, that sounds very polite.
It's a Canadian thing. Anything I say is nice because I'm Canadian, so...
How about that?
It just looks like she's got this
I
big...
can't tell you how many beautiful potatoes I've seen in my day.
Yeah, if I want to pick up well, not anymore, obviously, but back in the day, I would say, your beautiful potato face. I think of French fries every time I look into your eyes.
Oh, dear. Anyway, I just think she's got this really big jaw. It just jumps out at me.
She does look different than her sister. That is correct.
Yes.
You notice they always call them sisters now and not twins.
Well, they are twins, and the reason they look different even though they are twins is because
One's a vegan and one's a meat eater.
Well, essentially, Bree's getting very, very, very lean, and Nikki is getting very, very, very muscular. So they're starting to look very different.
This would be that merry, you know what I mean? I don't want to do the rest of it, but
Oh,
yeah,
with Nikki, Brie, and AJ?
yeah.
That would be a tough one.
Glad Mary
me a
Brie
sec,
is what
yeah.
I'm saying.
Took me a second to realize where you were getting with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other two are up for debate.
So Cole and JBL started to make fun of Tom for not being excited enough. Pot, kettle, black. Natalya versus Summer. It showed Tyson backstage spending time with Layla and Summer, and and Natalya arrived and pulled him away. So Tyson's on commentary saying the Divas all hated each other and it was not his fault, which is true. And he bickered with the announcers for a while and he left. He tried to give Natty advice. Natty said she got it, and then Summer pinned her.
Tyson was like the best jiu-jitsu corner man of all time. He's like, put her in the sharpshooter! No shit. Then she lost.
Can you do that in jiu-jitsu?
You could try. It'd be very difficult.
It's legal. It's just...
Sure. I've never seen it.
I've always wanted someone to do the walls of Jericho, be honest with you. Just kind of grab both ankles and see what happens.
I've seen people try that. I've seen people almost get that one.
I feel like
Sharpshooter's a little more difficult.
I think I did get my cousin to that once, but we were like 8.
Plus,
Had
I
no
think
training.
technically, if you would try to apply the sharpshooter, the way I'd have to look at it, but I believe that would be considered reaping the knee, and you'd be disqualified. Disqualified, yeah.
That sounds bad.
But I did once figure 4 and submit Wang. I swear to God, it was a shoot.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Poor Wang. I would have liked to meet him. Oh well. We could have talked Tinder.
Life will go on.
I'll bring him. If you want to talk Tinder with Wang, I'll set that show up.
Perfect. Give him some advice.
Sure.
Renee interviewed Dolph. He was talking about fighting for himself when Hunter interrupted. Pointed out Randy Orton and John Cena were not there to save Dolph tonight. It was not too late for him to change his mind and join the Authority.
Hunter was such a great prick when he goes, after Monday, imagine if that could happen to Randy Orton. Imagine what would happen to Dolph Ziggler. Wow. Yep, he's a geek.
In far and away the best part of the show.
This was the best thing I've seen in years.
Yeah. They brought out Army Sergeant Dan Rose, who'd been paralyzed from the chest down by an IED in Afghanistan. And he was there because they have now invented and developed a fancy exoskeleton suit that allows him to walk back and forth across the stage.
Yeah.
This is tremendous.
If you've been listening to this show for any length of time, you will know that I have been talking for years about how fascinated I am with the advancements being made for those that cannot walk, for those who are paralyzed. When I was a little kid and Christopher Reeves got paralyzed when he fell off that horse, I was certain that Superman would walk again. I don't know what it was. I don't know why. I'm not even a comic book guy. I didn't even watch Superman, but there was just... I knew that guy was going to walk again, and unfortunately he died.
You're a mark.
And for years, every time there's some article about some advancement and this and that, I just soak these things up. And here's this guy coming out, and this was just like the greatest thing ever. I don't even want to say anything negative about this, but I will say the only thing that took it down a smidgen of a notch, and God bless him, I'm not even being really critical of Michael Cole, but there was a way he was delivering his lines where it sounded like he was a carnival barker.
Yeah.
He's like, Dan Rose, this man is going to walk tonight. And I'm like,
He can't
what
help,
is this?
He can't help but be Michael Cole.
Exactly. It was like we were in a carnival or something. But anyway, this was awesome. This was amazing.
Oh, it's just such a feel-good moment that you don't always get from wrestling, and it's something from the real world. It's neat to see the wrestling world and the real world coming together, and then putting a smile on your face.
Exactly, and there was nothing in it where you felt like WWE was they're not going to make any money out of this.
No.
Nobody's WWE isn't being paid.
They're not selling "Thank You, Dan" T-shirts.
No, and even like sometimes when they do tribute to the troops, you watch and you're like, well, they're putting themselves over with this ad here. Look at this, what we're doing, blah blah blah. This didn't even feel like that. It was just like, hey, here's this guy Dan, and he's got this thing, and we're gonna promote him, and we're gonna plug this deal, and then we're gonna move on. It was great.
Now I am evil, and I have been watching wrestling for far too long because At the end of this, all I could think was, can you imagine if Rusev came out and pushed him over?
Oh, man, Vinny.
I'm going to hell.
Well, to be fair, I don't know anything about Dan Rose, but I have seen some interviews with the guy, because once I heard about this, I Googled it, and I just watched a bunch of videos of him walking and interviews that he had done, and he came across like a guy where if you would have said, Dan, we want to turn this into an angle, he would have went, sure, sounds good to me. But I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
He looked like a friendly chap.
Main event, Dolph Ziggler versus Kane inside a steel cage. Dolph came out. The scary Luke Harper video aired. Apparently it's a threat to Dolph. So, WWE has pretty much always used the escape the cage rules. And it never bothered me. Frankly, until I started hanging out with you and you kind of pointed out to me how many times the winner of the match is actually the guy who just runs away.
Yeah, he flees.
It was made very, very clear here in this match that is what happened, and how completely bass-backwards the entire concept is now. Because they were fighting to get out the door. Dolph tried to go over the top and actually ended up hanging from the door, which I don't think I've seen before. And then he kicks the door in Kane's face and jumps down and runs away. And the response to this was not, what a big win for Dolph. He found a way to outsmart and escape the monster. They didn't even credit him for anything. They simply pointed out he would not be able to do this at Survivor Series.
Yes.
A cage match used to be the ultimate way to blow off a feud where you need someone to be dead. Now it is
A jungle gym.
Now it is a match that by rule cannot have a decisive victor, and therefore, no matter what happens, the feud must continue. It's completely backwards.
Well, there's only one problem with your big rant, which I largely agree with. We had a cage match in the opener where one team just beat the other in the cage.
Yeah, they're going to keep feuding.
Well, that is
Well.
true. They're probably going to keep feuding. Well, all I got to say about this match, and this caught me completely off guard, the fans were so into Ziggler in the last couple of minutes of this match, and when he escaped the cage and beat Kane, they went crazy. And it makes absolutely no sense to me, but their god-awful booking of Dolph Ziggler is actually turning him into an underdog that the people want to see win.
Yes.
It's like, but the problem is, they have 40 guys who are buried deep in the mid-card never to escape, and this booking is working for exactly one of them. So I can't say at the end of the day that it is a positive, but it seems to be working for the guys, so there you go.
I was 100% certain that Kane was going to win once Ziggler was hanging on the door. And so I was very pleasantly surprised when that wasn't the case, because I like being surprised, and it doesn't happen very often, unfortunately.
Especially in this company.
Yeah, exactly. And, just for a match that really didn't mean anything, I thought it was a lot of fun. And the crowd was absolutely going crazy. So it just felt like it was just, honestly, just a lot of fun. That's the best way I can describe it.
So there you go, everybody. Smackdown. I can't play